We spend our whole lives chasing money we may never even use, trying to impress folks we don't even like, and following rules made by people who are just as lost as we are. Every morning it's the same grind. Wake up, rush out, come home, eat, sleep, then do it all again, until one day you're staring at yourself in the mirror thinking, what's the point of all this? If that sinking feeling has ever hit you, like your life is stuck on repeat, you're not alone. Albert Camus felt it too, and he found a way to live with it that changes everything. Part 1. The Quiet After Retirement. You don't notice it at first, not right away. The first couple weeks feel like a little vacation. You sleep in, you wear the same sweatshirt 2 days in a row. Nobody cares. Then one morning it hits you, and it hits you quiet. Retirement isn't just no job. It's the feeling that the world stopped knocking on your door. I'm talking about that 6:30 a.m. wake-up, the one your body still does on its own. You shuffle to the kitchen, you flip on the light, you hear the coffee pot start to gurgle. You stand by the kitchen window with that mug in your hand, and you look out at the driveway like you're waiting for something to pull in. But nothing pulls in, and nobody needs you to be anywhere. So you walk out to the porch, or you sit on the front steps for a minute. You look at the street, you watch a car go by, you watch a neighbor's trash can tip in the wind, and you don't move. It's not peaceful, not yet. It's just still. When you worked, even if you hated it, your day had a shape. Now the day can feel like a big, empty box. And the worst part is how quiet the phone gets. No boss calling, no coworker texting, no schedule yelling at you. You don't hear your name much anymore, unless it's a spam call or a doctor's office reminder. That can make a man feel invisible, like he's still here. But the world is looking right through him. Listen, I'm not going to tell you that feeling is silly. It's not. When you've been useful for 40 years, when people needed your hands, your back, your time, it's hard to sit in a quiet house and not feel like you got put on the shelf. It can feel like you're done, even though you're breathing, even though you've still got mornings left. Then comes the mailbox moment. You walk down the driveway, maybe in slippers, maybe in those old work shoes you won't throw out. You open the mailbox, and it's mostly junk mail, coupons, flyers, some final notice-looking thing that turns out to be an ad. You stand there a second longer than you should, because for half a heartbeat you hoped it would be a letter from a real person. You go back inside, and you check the bank, and you see that Social Security deposit show up. It helps. Sure, it keeps the lights on, it buys groceries, it covers part of the basics. But it doesn't fix that empty feeling in your chest, and it doesn't give you a reason to get dressed at 7 a.m. Money keeps you afloat, but it doesn't give you a place to stand. So what do a lot of folks do? They turn on the TV for company, news, game shows, old movies, anything with voices in the room. You sit there with the remote in your hand, and the screen is talking, but nobody is talking to you. You can have that TV on all day and still feel alone in a house full of sound. Now here's the hard truth, and I'm going to say it plain. If you sit and wait for life to feel meaningful again, it won't walk back in and tap you on the shoulder and say, "All right, buddy, here's your purpose." That's not how it works. Not at 70, not at 60, not at 55. You have to give your day a job, even a small one, or the quiet will eat you. I'm not talking about some big grand mission. I'm talking about a small job you can do today, in 10 minutes, like a normal person. Wash the dishes that sat in the sink, sweep the porch where the dirt piles up, take out the trash before it starts to stink, walk around the block, and come back. 10 minutes is not a lot, but 10 minutes is a start, and a start is how you get your self-respect back. Because here's the thing, feeling useful is like a fire. If you don't feed it, it goes out, and then you sit in the cold and wonder what happened. When you do one small, real task, you can look at it and say, "I did that," and nobody can take it away from you. It's not about impressing people, it's about keeping your own head above water. And if you're sitting there thinking, "Yeah, but my body hurts, and my energy isn't what it used to be," I hear you. That's why I'm saying 10 minutes, not an hour. You don't have to run a mile. You don't have to rebuild the whole garage. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just have to do one small thing on purpose. So your day is not just you waiting to die. So try this tomorrow morning, right after that coffee, right after you stare out that kitchen window. Pick one 10-minute job. Set a timer if you need to. Do it slow and steady. Then stop. Sit back down on that porch. Look at the driveway again and notice the difference. You may still feel quiet, but you won't feel as helpless. And once you're not helpless, that late-night question starts creeping in, the one that steals your sleep. What's the point? And we're going to talk about that next. Part 2. That what's the point? Question that steals your sleep. It always shows up the same way, late at night, when the house is finally quiet. You're in bed. You roll over, you look at the clock, and it says 2:17 a.m. The room is dark, still, and your body is tired, but your mind is wide awake like it's on the clock again. That's when the question slides in, real soft, like it owns the place. What's the point? You try to ignore it at first. You pull the blanket up, you shut your eyes harder, like that'll do something. Then that little glow starts calling you, the phone on the nightstand, the bedside lamp, the TV remote. You tell yourself, I'll just check one thing. But you know how that goes. One thing turns into an hour. The screen keeps your eyes busy, but it doesn't calm your gut. And listen, the sound of the house at night can make it worse. You hear the heater hum, you hear the fridge buzz, you hear a distant dog bark somewhere down the street, and then nothing. No footsteps, no voices, no one saying your name. In the daytime, you can pretend you're fine, but at night, the quiet feels like it's staring right at you. That's when the list starts. Money. How much is left? What's coming due? What the pharmacy charged last time? Health, that ache you've been ignoring. The next doctor visit. The pills lined up in the kitchen. Kids living far away, busy with their own lives. You don't want to bother them, but you still want to hear their voice. And then you start thinking about time, not in a big fancy way, just plain. How many good years do I have left? That question, what's the point, can feel like a punch because you don't have a clean answer. You worked, you showed up, you paid your bills, you did what a decent person does. So why does it still feel empty sometimes? Why does your chest feel tight in the dark when you should be sleeping? Why does it feel like the world moved on without you? Here's the truth, and I'm not going to dress it up. Some questions don't get answered, not because you're dumb, not because you didn't try hard enough, but because life doesn't sit down and explain itself. You can ask and ask, you can beg for a sign, you can replay your whole past like a movie, and the world can stay quiet anyway. That quiet can feel like calling someone who never picks up. You dial, you listen to it ring, you wait, and then it goes to voicemail. You don't even get a sorry I missed you. That's how it feels when you're lying there at 2:17 a.m., like you keep calling out, hey, what's all this for? And nothing calls back. Now don't hear me wrong. I'm not saying you should give up. I'm saying you should stop fighting for a perfect answer that may never come. Because that fight, that's the trap. You try to force life to make perfect sense, and all it does is keep you awake and scared and mad at yourself. A lot of folks think the way out is think positive, like it's a light switch. I don't buy that. If you're hurting, you can't just slap a smile on it and call it fixed. This isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about doing something real so your mind stops spinning. So here's what you do. Simple and plain. When that question shows up, don't wrestle it all night. You tell yourself, low and steady, I can't solve my whole life at 2 a.m. Then you bring it back to one small thing you can do tomorrow, one thing that's in your hands. That's why I like the 3 lines on paper habit before bed. It's not cute, it's not fancy. It's just a tool, like a hammer. You take a piece of paper and you write 3 short lines. One small good thing from the day, even if it's tiny, like I ate a decent meal, or I got outside for 5 minutes, or I talked to someone. One worry you're going to park, like money, or my knee, or that doctor bill. Just name it and set it down. And one small plan for tomorrow, like walk to the mailbox, or wash the dishes, or call the pharmacy, something you can actually do. Because when you write it down, your brain doesn't have to carry it like a heavy box all night. It can stop clenching. It can say, "All right, we got it on paper. You're not fixing everything, you're just giving your mind a place to rest. And if you wake up again at 2:17 a.m., you do the same thing. You don't grab the phone and fall into that scroll hole. Unless you want to feel worse. You don't turn the TV on and let strangers talk at you. You breathe slow. You listen to that heater hum. You tell yourself, 'I'm not crazy. I'm human.' And you go back to your one small plan. Then morning comes. And morning is different. You put your feet on the floor. You turn on the kitchen light. You start the coffee. And you sit at the table like a grown man. The world still won't hand you a big answer, but you'll have a small job waiting for you. And that's enough to get you moving. So don't chase the big meaning at 2 a.m. It'll run you into the wall. Come back to the small thing, the real thing, the thing you can do with your own hands. And once you start doing that, you'll notice something else. The fear eases a little, but another problem still sits there on the couch with you, even with the TV on, that feeling of being alone. Part 3. Money, bills, and the shame nobody talks about. Let's talk about money because it sits in your stomach like a rock. You can be smiling in the daytime, you can be joking with folks, and that rock is still there. When you're older and the money feels tight, it doesn't just scare you. It can make you feel small, like you did something wrong, even if you worked your whole life. I've seen it at the pharmacy counter 100 times. You stand there, the clerk tells you the price for a prescription, and you pause with your card in your hand. You do that quick math in your head, rent or mortgage, power bill, gas, groceries, and you feel your face get hot. You swipe the card anyway, or you ask, "Is there a cheaper one?" and you feel like the whole line is watching you. This fear is real, so let's not play games. Bills, meds, rent, repairs, a water heater that quits, a tire that pops, that stuff can knock you sideways. And prices these days, they don't care how old you are. You can do everything right and still feel like you're always one surprise away from trouble. Now here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. Shame makes it worse. Shame makes you hide the mail, hide the bank app, hide the truth from your own self. Shame makes you leave envelopes stacked on the kitchen table, power bill, phone bill, credit card bill, and you tell yourself, "I'll open it later." Later turns into next week, and then you're more scared than you were before. I'm telling you straight, shame will not pay a bill. Shame won't lower a price. It won't fix your roof. It won't refill your pill bottle. Shame just keeps you frozen. And being frozen is how people get in deeper. So if you're sitting there with that pile of envelopes, listen, you're not the only one, but you do have to face it. A lot of folks are living on a Social Security deposit, maybe a check. Maybe it hits the bank once a month. It helps. And thank God for it, but it doesn't solve everything. It doesn't cover every surprise. And it sure doesn't match the way prices jump. So we stop pretending it's enough on its own, and we start getting clear. Step 1 is simple. Look at the numbers. Money in, money out. No guessing. Don't do it in your head at 11 p.m. Do it in the daylight at the table. Take one piece of paper. Write what comes in each month. Social Security, pension, whatever it is. Then write what goes out. Rent or mortgage, power, phone, gas, groceries, meds, and anything else you pay. And yes, that Medicare or insurance paperwork can make you want to throw the whole folder in the trash. It's confusing, it's annoying, and it feels like it's written to wear you down. But you don't have to understand every word right now. You just need to know what you pay. And when you pay it, put that folder in one spot, so you're not digging through drawers like you're hunting a lost sock. Step 2 is stop the bleeding. And I mean the little leaks that sneak up on you. That cable plan you got 10 years ago, and now you only watch 2 channels. That app that charges you monthly, and you forgot you even had it. That subscription you signed up for on a bored night, and it keeps pulling money like a tick. This is where a small win can change your whole mood. You call one company, you say, "I need a cheaper plan," and you stay polite, but firm. Or you cancel one thing you don't use, and you see that charge disappear next month. It sounds small, but when you fix one leak, you feel a tiny bit of air come back in your chest, like you can breathe again. Then there's the grocery store or Walmart, where reality hits you right in the cart. You walk the aisles, you see the prices, you pick something up, and you put it back. You're not being picky, you're doing math, and that takes a toll on your pride. But listen, putting something back is not failure, it's control. It's you refusing to go into a hole for no reason. Step 3 is ask for help the right way, without begging and without lying. Some folks won't do this because they don't want to be a burden. But a second set of eyes is not a burden. It's common sense. You can ask a kid, a trusted friend, someone at a local senior center or a free counselor type place, and you can say it's simple. I need a second set of eyes on my bills. I want to make sure I'm not missing something. Now I'm going to give you one warning, short and plain. When money gets tight, the world gets full of people promising easy money and fast help. Some of them are just trying to get your information or get you to send money, and it's a bad deal every time. So if something sounds too good, or if they rush you, hang up and talk to someone you trust before you do anything. Here's a routine that helps, and it's boring on purpose. Pick one day a week as your money day. Same day, same time, maybe Tuesday morning after coffee, maybe Saturday at the kitchen table. You open the mail, you write down what's due, you pay what you can, and you make one phone call if you need to. Then you stop. You don't sit there panicking for 3 hours. You did the job. And I want you to hear this part. You may still be tight on money, even after you do all this. I'm not selling a miracle. I'm selling steadiness. When you face it, you feel less scared, because now you know what's real and what's not. Fear grows in the dark, but it shrinks in the light. So here's your one small action for today. Keep it simple and do it before dinner. Pull up your bank statement, find 3 auto charges, and cancel at least one that you don't use. If you can't do that, then open the mail pile and sort it into do now and can wait. And that's it. You're done for the day. Money is heavy. Sure, but there's something else that can feel even heavier when the lights go out at night. Being alone. Part 4. American Loneliness. The TV's on, but nobody's there. Loneliness isn't always a man sitting in a dark room crying. Most of the time it's a normal Tuesday night. Lights on, TV on, and you still feel empty. It's you heating up dinner in the microwave, hearing that beep, sliding the food onto a paper plate, and sitting at the table like it's no big deal. You take a few bites, and you realize you haven't talked out loud to a real person all day. So you turn the TV up a little, not because you love the news, but because you don't want the house to sound like a tomb. Game show, local news, some old rerun, doesn't matter. The voices fill the room, but they don't fill you. The screen talks at you, but it never looks you in the eye. It never says your name. It never asks how your day went. Then there's the phone, sitting right there on the table or on the couch arm, quiet as a stone. No texts, no calls, nothing. And you still check it anyway, like maybe you missed something, like maybe somebody finally thought of you. That's a hard feeling to admit, because it makes you feel needy, and grown folks hate feeling needy. This kind of loneliness is common, especially after retirement, after the kids move away, after a spouse dies, after friends drift off, or their health goes bad. Life changes fast, and then one day you look around and notice your circle got smaller. Nobody did it to hurt you. It just happened, and now you're left sitting in the quiet trying to act like it's fine. Here's the trap, and I'm going to say it straight. You sit at home and wait, and you tell yourself, nobody wants me around, or I don't want to bother anybody, or I'm a burden. So you don't call, you don't go anywhere, you don't show up. Then weeks go by, and the loneliness gets heavier, and you start believing your own story. But listen, the hard truth is this. People are busy. They got jobs, kids, bills, problems, their own mess. They may care about you, they may love you, but they will not always think to call. Not because you don't matter, but because life pulls them by the collar. If you wait for the world to come to you, you might be waiting a long time. That's why I'm not telling you to go out and make 10 new friends like you're 20 years old. That's not real. What I am telling you is you need 1 or 2 real points of contact a week. Something steady. 1 small contact. 1 place to show up, even for 20 minutes. So the week doesn't feel like one long empty room. Sometimes the easiest thing is just to drive past the places you already know and notice what you're not doing. You drive past a diner in the morning, you see the same cars out front, and you keep going. You drive past the public library, the church, the park, and you don't pull in. You tell yourself, not today, and then tomorrow you say the same thing. And then you do the mailbox thing again, and it's mostly junk mail, and you feel that little drop in your stomach. It's not the junk mail itself, it's what it stands for. It's the reminder that nobody wrote you a real note. Nobody sent you a real card. Nobody said, "Hey, I miss you." So let's make this practical. Pick 1 place, just 1, where it won't be weird for you to sit for a bit. A diner in the morning is a good one because nobody expects you to show up with a big smile and a story. You walk in, you sit down, you order coffee, you say hello to the waitress, and you just exist around other humans. Or go to the public library. Walk in like you belong there, because you do, and ask the front desk what free events they have this week. If you're comfortable with it, church is another place, not because I'm preaching at you, but because it's one of the last places where people still say hello to strangers. A community center can work too, or a veterans hall or the VA if that's your world. Even a walking group at the park. You don't have to talk much. You just walk near people and let your brain remember what it feels like to be part of something. Face-to-face matters, and I don't need fancy words to tell you why. When you sit across from somebody, even if it's just a waitress pouring coffee, you feel human again. You hear your own voice, you see somebody's eyes, you get a little back and forth. The TV can't do that, and the phone can't always do that. But a real person in the same room, that changes your whole day. Now I want to say this gently. Start easy and stay safe. Go in the daytime. Go to public places. Keep it simple. You don't need to tell your life story to anyone. You don't need to make best friends. You're just showing up, like you used to show up for work, because showing up is half of life. And if the idea of walking into a place alone makes your stomach twist, then start with 1 small reach out. Keep it plain, no long speech, no big explanation. You call or text 1 person and you say, "Hey, I was thinking about you. You got a minute?" That's it. If they can't talk, fine. You tried. You can try again another day, or call someone else. You're not begging. You're reaching. Here's your 1 small action for today. Pick the easiest version and do it. Tomorrow morning, walk into a diner or a coffee shop. Sit for 15 minutes and say hello to the waitress, even if it's just morning. If that's too much, go to the library and ask the front desk what free events they have this week. Or call 1 person and say that 1 line, "Hey, I was thinking about you. You got a minute?" Do that 1 thing, and don't judge it like it's a test. Count it as a win, because it is. Loneliness doesn't break in all at once, and it doesn't heal in all at once either. It changes 1 small step at a time, 1 door opened, 1 chair sat in, 1 hello said out loud. And listen, even when you do see people, there's another hurt that shows up, that feeling like you don't matter anymore. Part 5. When you feel useless and invisible. You can feel useless in a room full of people, and that's the part nobody talks about. It's not always sadness. Sometimes it's just this dull feeling, like you're extra furniture. Nobody calls, nobody asks, nobody needs your help, and you start to wonder if you still matter. That thought can sneak up on you slow, then sit on your chest. You see it at family stuff, birthdays, Thanksgiving, whatever they're doing this year. You're sitting off to the side on a folding chair, paper plate in your lap, kids running around and yelling, people talking fast like they're on a timer. You nod, you smile, you say I'm good, and nobody asks you anything real. You're right there, and still you feel unseen. And look, that feeling is common. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means your life changed, and the world changed, and nobody handed you a map. When you worked, people knew what you were for. You showed up, you did the job, you brought something home. Now you're not the guy from work anymore, and folks don't always know how to place you. This hits hard in America because we worship busy. We worship work, producing, moving, always doing something. When you stop working, people don't mean to, but they stop seeing you the same way. The world is loud about youth and speed, and it can make an older person feel like they're in the way. You feel it out in public too, not just at family things. You're at Walmart, pushing a cart, trying to grab what you need, and people slide around you like you're a traffic cone. Somebody reaches right past you. Somebody bumps your cart. Nobody says, "Excuse me," and you stand there thinking, "Am I even here?" It's a small moment, but it adds up. Then you go home, and you wander into the garage, and you see your old stuff. Tools on the wall, maybe a uniform hanging back there, an old badge in a drawer, your work boots with the soles worn down. And you think, I used to be somebody. That thought can hurt because it's tied to a time when people depended on you. Here's the part I need you to hear. Your worth is not a paycheck. It never was, even if it felt like it. But you still need a job to do each day, even a small one, or your mind will start eating you alive. A human being needs to feel useful the way a body needs to move. The common mistake is this. You tell yourself, I don't want to bother anybody. So you disappear on purpose. You stop offering help. You stop calling. You stop showing up. And then you say, see, nobody needs me. That's not a fair test because you left the room before the question even got asked. And pride is part of it. Pride can make you quiet. Pride makes you act like you don't need anyone, and pride makes you wait for someone to come to you first. But waiting is how you stay stuck. If you sit back and hope to be needed again, you might feel useless for the rest of your days. So here's the fix, and it's simple. Pick a new small role on purpose, not a fantasy role, not something you'll quit in 2 days. A real role that fits your life right now. It can be caring for a small garden, fixing one thing around the house, helping a neighbor with a small job, watching a grandkid for an hour, volunteering at church or a food pantry, or being the one who makes a weekly phone call check-in. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be steady. Make it clear. Write it down like you mean it. This week, I'm the guy who takes a walk every morning. Or this week, I'm the one who calls my brother on Wednesday. Or this week, I'm the one who keeps the porch clean and the trash out. You pick one, not 10, because 10 is how you fail, and then beat yourself up. Then you show up twice, even if you don't feel like it, because feelings are unreliable. And you don't need applause. You don't need anybody clapping for you. Half the time, nobody will even notice. And that's okay. The point is, you notice. You know you did what you said you would do. That's how you build respect for yourself again. One small promise kept. Now, if you're thinking, but nobody asks me for help, then you offer one clear thing. You don't give a long speech. You don't make it dramatic. You just make it easy to say yes. I can pick up the kids Friday for 1 hour if you want, or I can swing by and bring you groceries, or I'm free Tuesday morning if you need a hand. People can't read your mind, and they won't always remember what you can do. Here's your one small action for today. Do it simple and do it now. Write one sentence on a sticky note. This week, I will atu chas 2 times. Stick it on the fridge and do the first one today, even if it's just 10 minutes in the garage cleaning one shelf, or text one family member, one clear offer, and leave it at that. And listen, it's hard to feel useful when your own body starts fighting you. So next, we're going to talk about that. The aches, the doctor visits, and how to not give up. Part 6. Your body getting older. Don't be stubborn. Don't give up. Your body will teach you the truth, whether you like it or not. One day you get up from that recliner and your knee talks back, or you bend down to tie your shoes and your lower back grabs you like a clamp. You stand there for a second, holding the edge of the bed, and you think, well, that's new. Then you start doing more time in waiting rooms than you ever wanted. You sit in that doctor's waiting room with a clipboard full of forms. You're writing the same answers you wrote last time. Your Medicare card or insurance card is in your wallet, and you still have to dig it out like it's a homework assignment. They call your name, you let out that tired sigh, and you stand up slow because you don't trust your legs like you used to. At home, you've got a pill organizer on the kitchen counter, and it's not there because you're weak. It's there because you're human, and you don't want to mess it up. You read those tiny labels on the bottles, squinting under the light, and you wonder how something so small can cost so much. Then you've got a stack of appointment papers, reminders, notes, and half the time you don't even feel sick. You just feel tired of managing it all. So let's admit the truth. Pain, stiffness, fatigue, and doctor visits are part of getting older. I wish I could tell you it's not, but I'm not here to lie to you. The body wears down, and it can make your mind go dark. When your body hurts, your patience gets thin, your sleep gets messed up, and everything feels harder than it should. And there's a fear under all of it, a fear most people don't say out loud. Falling, losing your independence, ending up in a nursing home, becoming a burden on your kids, or your spouse, or whoever's left. That fear is real, and if you've had one close call, you know what I mean. Maybe it happened in the bathroom. You stepped wrong, the floor was slick, and your heart jumped because you almost went down. Or you missed a step on the porch. Your foot didn't land right, and you grabbed the rail like your life depended on it. That 1 second can change you, because after that, you don't just walk. You worry while you walk. Now here's where I'm going to be blunt. Being stubborn makes it worse. Folks our age love to say, I'm fine, even when we're not. We say, I don't need help. We say, I'll deal with it later, and later gets expensive. Later turns into a fall, or an ER visit, or weeks of pain that could have been less if you handled it early. This section is not about getting young again. It's not about looking good. It's not about being fit, not like the magazines. The goal is simple, steady and safe. Steady means you can get up, walk, carry your groceries, and not feel like you're one bad step away from trouble. Safe means your house and your habits aren't setting you up to fall. So let's talk about 3 cheap habits that pay you back. First, move a little every day. 10 minutes counts. I mean it. 10 minutes counts. Walk around the block, walk to the mailbox, or if the weather is bad, walk inside Walmart and push that cart slow. You don't have to make it a big workout. You just have to keep the hinges moving. Second, eat simple and drink water. Don't make it complicated. Nobody needs a new diet plan at 70. Eggs, oatmeal, soup, basic groceries. Stuff that sits well in your stomach and doesn't cost a fortune. And drink water, because a lot of folks feel worse than they need to, just because they're running dry and living on coffee. Third, protect sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It's fuel. Same bedtime as much as you can. Less late-night TV, less scrolling in bed. When you don't sleep, your pain feels louder, your balance gets worse, and your mood goes downhill. You can't fix everything, but you can give your body a chance. Now do one safety thing too, and don't roll your eyes. Put a nightlight in the hallway. Hold the rail. Keep clutter off the floor. Don't leave a loose rug waiting to trip you. Wear shoes with grip in the house if you need to, not slippery socks like you're trying to win a fall contest. These are small changes, but small changes keep you out of big trouble. And listen, if the pain or the sadness feels too heavy, talk to a doctor. Don't carry it alone like it's some badge of honor. You don't have to be dramatic about it. You can just say, I'm not doing great, and let them help you sort it out. Getting help early is not weakness. It's how you stay in your own home longer. Here's your one small action for today. Pick one and do it before the day is over. Take a 10-minute walk. Slow is fine. Inside the house is fine. Just move. Or clear one trip hazard, a loose rug, clutter by the stairs, cords on the floor, and make your path clean. Or fill a glass of water and set out tomorrow's simple breakfast. So the morning starts easier. You don't need to win a medal. You just need to stay in the game. A steadier body gives you a steadier mind, and a steadier mind makes the whole day feel less scary. When your body is steadier, even a little, the day feels less scary, and then you can start building a decent day on purpose. So let's talk about that next. Part 7. You don't need a big meaning. You just need a decent day. Today. A lot of folks get stuck chasing a big meaning, like life is a math problem they can solve if they think hard enough. They sit there and ask, "Why am I here?" And they keep asking until they feel worse. Listen, that question can chew you up, because life doesn't always answer. Not clean, not fair, not on your timeline. And the older you get, the more you see that some things just are what they are. You felt the quiet after retirement. You felt those 2 a.m. nights where your mind won't shut up. You felt the money stress, the bills, the pharmacy counter, the pile of mail on the table. You felt the loneliness with the TV on and the phone sitting there like a brick. You felt useless at the family table, and you felt your body fight you when you stood up from the recliner. That's a lot to carry, and it can make a person think the whole thing is pointless. But here's the better goal. Stop trying to make life make sense and start trying to make today decent. Not perfect. Decent. A decent day is one you can live with. It's a day where you face what needs facing. You move a little. You do one small thing that makes the house feel less like it's closing in, and you connect with one person, even in a small way. Sometimes it helps to see it in your hands. You go down to the garage or the basement, and you look at the old boxes, old photos, old tools. You can feel time just sitting there on the shelves. You pick up something you haven't touched in years, and you think about who you were and how fast it all went. That can make you sad, or mad, or both. So don't stand there and drown in it. Do one simple cleaning move, clear one shelf, sweep one corner, take out one trash bag, and be done. When you clean one small spot, it's like you tell your brain, "I still run this house." It's not about being neat. It's about feeling like you have a little control again. Then you make tomorrow easy on yourself. You take a piece of paper, you write a basic plan, and you stick it on the fridge with a magnet. Not a big to-do list that makes you feel behind. Just 3 lines. One for the house, one for the body, one for the heart. And that's it. 3 lines you can actually do. Here's what I mean by that house. Body, heart thing. For the house, set a timer for 15 minutes and tidy dishes, sweep, a small pile of mail, whatever is bugging you the most. For the body, do 10 minutes of walking or stretching. Slow is fine. Safe is the point. For the heart, do one tiny connection, one call, one text, or even just saying hello to a neighbor when you step outside. And yes, the heart part matters, because you're not built to live like a ghost. You can sit on the porch or front steps for 5 minutes, just to be outside, just to see the street, just to feel like you're still part of the world. Bring a cup of coffee with you, or a bowl of soup later, or turn on an old song on the radio, something simple that reminds you you're still here. Now let me show you what this looks like on a hard day, not a perfect day. Let's say you wake up tired, your knee hurts, and your mood is low. You don't do the big version, you do the smallest version. For the house, you clear the table and wash a few dishes. Then stop. For the body, you walk to the mailbox and back, or you walk down the hallway a few times. Then sit. For the heart, you send one text that says, "Hey, hope you're doing okay," and you let that be enough. That's the point. You're not trying to change your whole life in one day. That's how people quit. They go too hard. They get sore, they get discouraged, and they stop. You're trying to build a life you can stand, one small brick at a time. You don't need applause, you need peace. And peace comes from steady small things done on purpose. And here's another truth. Chasing a grand purpose can make you feel worse because you'll always feel behind. You'll always feel like you didn't figure it out. But if you aim for a decent day, you can win more often. You can say, I faced my bills, I moved my body, my house is a little better, I talked to one person, I ate something simple, and maybe, just maybe, you sleep a bit better. So here's your one small action for today. No excuses. Make it easy. Write 3 lines for tomorrow: house, body, heart, stick it on the fridge, and do the first one within 10 minutes, even if it's just taking out the trash. Or set a timer for 15 minutes and clear one small corner of the garage. Then stop. Leave it at that. You did your job. If you do that most days, you're going to notice something. The day feels less heavy. The world may still be quiet, but you won't feel as lost inside it. All right, before we go, I want to leave you with one straight sentence to carry into tomorrow.